Shalom uvracha from Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. We have the privilege this evening of studying together the Haftara of Parashat Vayigash. The great prophetic teaching this week, taken from the 37th chapter of the book of Ezekiel. If I am allowed a personal comment, I happen to view this Haftara as one of my favorite Haftarot of the entire year. I hope that each of us reaches the level of enjoying and appreciating all the prophetic messages, all of the teachings, all of the Haftarot. But on some level, the Haftara of Vayigash is so moving, is so reflective of this beautiful eschatological dream of the unity of the Jewish people. As is well known in Parshat Vayigash, the brothers finally return to each other, and the brotherly love and the kissing and the hugging of Yehuda and Yosef, of Joseph and his brothers, the very brothers that wanted to kill him, and that sold him and threw him in the pit, and the lack of connection, the difficulty, there was struggles, so many struggles even between Joseph and his own brothers, of his own reports about the negative activities of certain parts of his brothers. And you read Vayigash, it's hard almost to read it without coming to some level of emotional tears. And yet Vayigash is this beautiful description of Joseph and his brothers once again being reunited. And in the Haftara, we've studied many times together in our Haftara series, that the rabbis sought to find a message in the prophets which parallels the message of the Torah reading of that week. So in the Haftara of Vayigash, Ezekiel is told to take two different sticks, one representing the notion of Yosef, and one representing the notion of Yehuda. He's told to take Eitz Echad, one stick, and write on it that this is going to be representing Judah and all the associates of Judah, and take another stick and write upon it Joseph and all those associated with Joseph. And then comes the command of God, and I'm reading from chapter 37, verse 17, where he is told to bring them together. The two sticks will be combined, will be united. V'karav otam ehad el ehad l'cha le'etz ehad v'hayu la'achadim biyadecha. Somehow, the prophet, in front of the entire people, calling together the people to demonstrate the word of God, is standing there with these two sticks, with these two branches, with these two pieces of wood, and somehow the branch of Yehuda and the branch of Yosef, each one with its own writing on it, become one. There's some question in the commentaries what it means that they become one. According to some interpretations, it means that he was just holding it together, one end towards the other, so it looked as if it became one. Some say maybe he tied it together. Others say maybe he banged it together. And others learned that maybe this was some kind of miraculous happening, that God miraculously turned the two sticks into one. I've seen many magic shows where I've seen them take poles, and many poles, and bring them together to become one pole. I remember we took our children to a magic show, and Henny and I were sitting and watching as the magician was bringing the two sticks together. And I whispered, I said, "Oh, this is Ezekiel 37 right in front of us. Why doesn't he just announce that he's trying to parallel the teaching of this Haftara?" In any case, the prophet, seeking to explain and to understand what exactly is going on here, is told by God that this is a reflection, that in the end of days, I hope that means today, all the different factions of the Jewish people, all those who until now was a separate stick here and a separate stick there, a separate group here and a separate group there, the Yehuda group, the Yosef group, and the Bnei Yisrael Chaveirav over here and the Bnei Yisrael Chaveirav over there, different factions, different levels that were so separate, are ultimately going to become one. That's the dream of the vision of Ezekiel. And I hope that that's the dream that we all live with, because we all want to become one. We're all part of the same family. We're all part of the same tradition. How beautiful it will be when the dream of Parshat Vayigash and the dream of Parshat of the Haftara of Vayigash, of Yechezkel, will actually come to fruition, Bezrat Hashem, today. There's just one comment that I would like to focus on the verse that I read. And that is, I hope I'll be able to translate it, because it's really a technical comment on the Hebrew. In the very verse that it speaks about the two branches, the two sticks becoming one, the word that's used in Hebrew for one is a very unusual word. I'll reread sentence 17. Those people who are following with the text are welcome to follow in the Hebrew. I'm not sure that you'll pick up on this in the English translations. I went through many English translations on this text, and not many of them reflect the point that I'm going to try to say. V'karav otam echad el echad, lecha le'etz echad. You shall bring them closer. Take the two branches, take the two pieces, take the two sticks, and bring them le'etz echad. V'hayu la'achadim biyadecha. And I was so perplexed by this word. V'hayu la'achadim biyadecha. Now I looked at the translations, and most translations write, and they shall be one in your hand. They will become one in your hand. That would be beautiful, except that the Hebrew is not echad, not v'hayu le'echad biyadecha. Why does Yechezkel use the word v'hayu la'achadim? La'achadim seems to imply some level of multiplicity of one, a plurality of one. Achadim, ones, not one. But the very verse is speaking about how they're going to become one. So why does it say achadim? And I noticed that this is discussed both in Dat Mikra, Dat Sofrim, and other commentaries. I would like to read the beautiful insight that's shared by Rav Chaim Dov Rabinowitz, the great author, blessed memory, in our generation, one of the few people in the generation who wrote a commentary from the beginning of Genesis to the end of Chronicles. What a wonderful work, Da'at Sofrim. And this is what he says. Lo ne'emar v'hayu le'echad biyadecha. It does not say in verse 17 that you become one, that the sticks will become one. Ela l'achadim, plural. But the whole point is that it won't be plural. The whole point is that it'll be one. And he writes, b'chavana gimura. This is an intentional point of the text. Ki ein hashivatim tzrichim lehitbatel v'liyot ke'echad mamash. When the day will come, Bezrat Hashem today, when that will happen, and the two sticks will become one, it doesn't mean that they will lose their own expression. It doesn't mean that they will lose their own identity. Kol shevet chayav lihishaer kiguf nifrad ulefatech skulotav. God is not saying that, okay, we're going to become one, so therefore there's no more Ruvain, and there's no more Shimon, and there's no more Yisachar, and there's no more Zvulun, and there's no more Yehuda, and there's no more Yosef. No! Yehuda has a message, Yosef has a message, every tribe has a message, every group has a message. But that doesn't mean we can't join together. V'hayu la'achadim biyadecha means that we will work together. Avokulam yachad tzrichim liyot ke'echad la'achadim biyadecha. Joining together as in the two sticks, joining together the various parts of the Jewish people does not mean that everyone will be the same. We're not looking for clones. We're not looking for everyone to be the same. Everybody has a beautiful individualistic expression, and we treasure that, and we respect that. But somehow the vision of Ezekiel is the vision of unity, the vision of oneness that will take place with the help of God. I hope that the study of Ezekiel 37 will bring it about this very week, and all of the divisiveness of the past will dissipate into nothingness as the two branches, as the two pieces of wood, as those two sticks become one. V'hayu la'achadim biyadecha. May we experience that together in the spirit of Yechezkel Lamed Zayin. Thank you so much for listening. Shalom Uvracha. I want to point out that, the Goy Echad Ba'aretz, this is the land here in Eretz Yisrael. We love and we respect all of our brothers and sisters, all of the viewers all over the world. But the place that's being emphasized in our text here about joining together as one, the place that is most appropriately pointed to as Vasiti Otam, read sentence 22 of our Haftara. Vasiti Otam L'goy Echad Ba'aretz. The Zohar comments, others comment, this is the land where it will happen, Bezrat Hashem, this evening. Shalom.
Amen.